This video is a quick tutorial for creating your own teacher webpage from the NCS teacher webpage template. So first thing you'll want to do is go to Google and make sure you've logged in with your Natomas Charter account. Once you're there, click on the Sites page and you'll be taken to the list of Google sites that you have already created. Possibly you haven't created any, so this menu might be completely empty. What you want to do is click Create to build your webpage. And you'll be given the option of using a blank template or browsing the gallery for more. You want to browse the gallery for more and look for the teacher web page template. Once you click on it, click Preview Template, and you'll get sort of a sense of how this template looks, and you can click the blue Use Template button and you will actually start building a web page from that template. So the second thing you need to do is you need to name your site. And most people are naming it something like, Mr. Woods Science Site or Science Page, something like that. So once you have the name in there, just go ahead and click the red Create button. And it'll take a couple of seconds, maybe even up to 30 seconds, but eventually your website will be created, and this is the basic layout of the teacher web page template. So if you look at this site, it has some key pages. The first page here is the home page, which has a little welcome introduction message for your students, a calendar of sort of the big events happening in class, and two different blog feeds that are coming in, or they're actually announcement feeds in Google Sites. The first one is an area called News and Notes, which might be like a weekly announcement of what's happening in class. The second one is weekly homework, which might be where you post your homework for the week. And these two feeds are actually coming from two different pages within your site. So if you look on the left here, this is actually your navigation menu. And so you have one page that may be for one class that you teach, like in my case it might be physical science or life science. The other page is for another class that you might teach. So if you have two preps, you can have two pages. Also, this is the page where the news and notes live, so those weekly posts that you can create. And then there's the page where your weekly homework posts live. And these two pages are fairly obvious to work with. When you want to create a new post, you just click the New Post button, and a new post will be automatically generated for you. And you'll notice an editor opens up at the top that looks very similar to Microsoft Word. So you can pretty much do anything that you can do in Microsoft Word. The other thing that you'll notice is that if you're on the News and Notes page, you have a test post. Well, chances are you don't want to use this for your class. So what you'll want to do is click Edit Post, and you can always go back in time and edit your post that you've created in the past. The last page that's here is actually the About Me page, which is a page where you can post a picture of yourself and information about your academic background, career experiences, that sort of information. Now, if I go back here to the home page, across the top of the page, what I want you to notice are four key buttons. The first button is the Edit Page button, and this is found throughout the Google site. So if you click on Edit Page, it opens up an editor where you can edit the page, very similar to using Microsoft Word. Also across the top of the page is a button that allows you to create a new page. So if you want another page on your site, you simply click this button and it'll take you through the process of making a new page. And then finally, there's the More button, which actually allows you to control some of the different actions in your site. And then the fourth button is actually sharing your site. So if I click on the Share button, currently my site is completely private, and the only person who can actually look at it is me as the owner of the site. Once your site is ready for public use, you'll want to click on the first visibility option and change it to anyone with link. These other options here, the first two, people at Natomas Charter School with link or Natomas Charter School, require that you have a Natomas Charter School account. So only students and other staff members would be able to see this type of site. Anyone with the link, though, will set it up so that parents can easily see it linked from the main school webpage. So when you're ready, all you do is where here it says private, click change and change it to something else. So you might change it, like I said, to anyone with link. Now to get back to your site, you simply click over here on the left where it says the name of your web page, and it'll take you back to your main page. One of the other things that you'll probably want to do is switch out this calendar, because this calendar that's right here is not a calendar that you have editing rights to. It's just an example calendar. So the way you do that is you open a new tab and go ahead and go to Google again, and up at the top, make sure you're in the right account, up at the top click on Calendar, And you'll notice that there's this little area here on the left that says My Calendars underneath the big calendar icon. Click on the little arrow that's pointing down and create a new calendar. And so you might call this, I might call the Science Class Calendar. And I can put in the description a calendar of the big events happening in science class. There we go. Towards the bottom, you're going to want to make sure that you share this calendar with others and that the calendar is public. That's the only way that parents would be able to see it. And then at the bottom, you can just click Create Calendar. Go ahead and click Yes. And you should see a new calendar show up here in the left side of your menu. So in my case, it's actually this orange calendar that just showed up. So I'm going to go ahead and put a test event on it. So I'm going to put first day of school. And I'm going to double check that it gets on the right calendar. There we go. It's orange. That kind of helps me match it up. I'm going to click Create Event. Now if I go back to the web page here and I click on the editing tool, I can see that the Google Calendar right now is just this gray box. If I click on the gray box and I click the little properties gear, I can choose to display another calendar. And what it's doing is it's actually looking at my calendar options. So I'm going to display the second calendar that says Science Class Calendar. And I know it's the right one because it says it was last updated at 11:30 a.m. So that gives me an idea that I'm in the right place. And if I scroll down to the bottom and click Select, right now my calendar is going to display two things. The original template calendar, which is the blue line, and then the one I just created. So there's a tiny little arrow right here at the end pointing down, and if I click on it, I can remove the blue calendar. So now I just have my science calendar showing up. And if I scroll to the bottom and press Save, and press Save again, I see that it's the right calendar, because one, it has the title, Science Class Calendar, but also right here on the 20th, that event that I created, first day of school, is automatically showing up on the calendar. Now the last thing I want to point out is how you create a new page and add it to your navigation menu. So let's say, right now I have Course A and Course B. Maybe you teach 3 different courses, so you want another page for that course. So if you click on the New Page button up at the top, you can first name your page, so course, I'll just call it Course C, and you can choose from web page, announcements, file cabinet list, or start page. More often than not, you're going to want to use web page, so we'll just choose web page. You can leave select location at put page at top level, that's fine, and click Create. Now if you look at this page, it has no information on it at the moment, so I'm going to write something, so test page, just so I have some text, and I'll press Save. Now one thing that I notice about this particular page is that it's not showing up in my navigation menu over here on the left, and that's because this navigation menu for the template is not automatic. So what I need to do is I need to edit the sidebar and then edit the navigation. I need to add a page, and it looks at all the pages on the site, so there it is, Course C. And once I have highlighted it, I just click OK. And Course C shows up in the menu, but I don't want Course C to appear below About Me. I actually want to move it up using these arrows on the right so that it appears right underneath Course C. If you have a situation where you have pages that you want to be subordinate to one another, so maybe like you have a page that's for Course A and then you want to do like Unit 1, what you can do for those subordinate pages is just use these little arrows, and if you sort of indent the page underneath the other page, it becomes a subordinate page. But at the moment, I don't want Course C to be under Course B, so I'm just going to click it back to the left, and now they're sort of equal to one another. When I click OK, and I click Save, and then I click back to Mr. Wood's science site, you see that the pages show up here in the navigation. So there's Course A, Course B, and Course C. So those are just some quick ideas for how you can get started building your teacher web page template. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email.